Um, I've had a number of veterans who've called me over the last couple of weeks and said, I want to go down and get involved. And these are veterans who both wanted to fight, but also who were qualified medics who could go down and provide assistance. And I think anybody who was considering crossing the border couldn't be naive in believing that they wouldn't be necessarily sent to the front line, and especially if you're a medic, because inevitably the Ukraine forces were receiving and are receiving, many casualties, and they need that paramedic support.
Do you think it's also true? I mean, if I was part of that command and control structure deciding how to deploy a foreign legion of foreign fighters, I'd also feel there was a PR advantage to sending them into combat. Because, I mean, this is brutal stuff, but if they get involved in the thick of it and heaven forfend they lose their lives, then you draw in other nations, don't you? You can. I mean, this is brute stuff, but that's what we're talking about here when it's war.
Well, absolutely, but also those that are going down there, and there are three different types of foreigners that are participating in the conflict down there. There are those that obviously want to go and fight and join this resistance force. There are the second that want to provide medical support, but they're going as individuals. And then there are organizations like my own who are trying to provide humanitarian support. Now, any British national or foreign national who is captured by Russian troops over there will give the Kremlin a huge PR advantage. And as we know, the Russian troops are already taking Ukrainian hostages. If they're taking foreign nationals as hostages, well, this gives them enormous leverage in terms of any kind of ceasefire agreements or any kind of concessions that they may have imposed on them or demanded of them.
Just wonder what would happen to them, what their legal status would be, Will Geddes, if you're one of these British volunteers and you're captured. How does Geneva Convention out of the window? Where do they stand?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, Colin. I mean, Geneva Convention should apply, but we've seen that there have been a number of civilian targets that the Russians have chosen selectively to target. We can't see this as necessarily just collateral damage. So as a direct result, how POWs are treated by the Russians is going to be very, very difficult to be able to gauge at this stage. I think in terms of the types of and the quality of troops from Russia that are on the ground right now, one can only presume that they won't be necessarily treated as per line of the Geneva Convention. And therefore, I think any foreign national, especially any Brits that are choosing to go down there, they're putting their lives not only at risk when they're alive, but certainly if they're captured.